I wanted AJ to start off the show today, but I feel like you're very preoccupied.
What do you mean? Start off the show with what?
Just saying hello.
Oh.
Instead of me.
There's just a lot happening, Scott. A lot happening at the moment. And, you're not helping matters.
I'm not helping
You were in my seat, and I was trying to get ready.
Oh, sorry that
and then I'm getting text. Then I'm getting
text.
text. You're 3 minutes away from showtime. No shit. I'm standing behind Scott, but I can't sit in my seat. What do you want me to do?
Anyone else in a better mood?
Don't bring that negativity here. You were downstairs, kissy smoochy poo with your wife before.
Well, my
the
wife's
show.
not here. My wife left me, so she's
Whoa,
definitely
whoa!
not
Don't
here.
say that.
For the afternoon, Aaron.
Yeah. She's
Clarification.
yes.
Don't misquote.
Wow.
Otherwise, the New York Post will pick that up.
Exactly.
They're watching. You know, there's a few publications I've heard and a few other media entities that watch the show and wait for the moment to hit. You know, the Pete Alonso moment. We have Jeff McNeil from the Mets, by the way, joining us soon. Also, Brent Suter from the Rockies, who's a total character. And Ken Goldin is why you were scrambling around today.
Yeah, I was
Did you find what you needed? So Ken Goldin has Goldin Auction. He's got the Netflix doc, the whole deal. You found what you needed?
I did. No thanks to you, though.
Obviously. No, I was busy finding my own things. Sorry.
You know what? Okay, hold on. Todd, Kratzy, what could Scott Braun memorabilia-wise possibly have? A golden microphone or something?
It's not my memorabilia.
I'm just wondering.
He might have like an autograph from a teacher that was real famous that won a Nobel Prize.
True, but no. Do you want me to tell you what it is or just wait? I mean,
No,
it's nothing crazy.
I want the moment.
Okay. It's not going to shock the world, but it has sentimental value. So we'll see what he says.
That's much more than monetary.
It is. For some people, sentimental value
for you,
means priceless. Okay?
Priceless. Doubtful. That's why Ken's on.
Exactly. By the way, if you're watching the show instead of listening on the pod, Todd Frazier wins Foul Territory MVP today for the shirt and the hat. FoulTerritoryShop.com. For people that ask, it's still there. Shirts, hats, Father's Day sale. Check it out. And on the topic of money, beautiful. Nice. I like it. Let's charge the damn mound because we have a lot to get to before our first guest, Jeff McNeil of the New York Mets. And I want to start with the San Diego Padres. I actually do want to give this a small mention before we get into the newsy part of it. They did win. Just wanted to say that. 9-4 over the Marlins. They were down 2 in the 7th. They had a 5-run ninth. Actually, I think it said more about the Marlins in that game. Sandy Alcantara. You know, his ERA is close to 5. We're a third into the season. He walked 5 batters.
Yeah, he's not looked as sharp.
No.
WBC.
I think it was from the World Baseball Classic.
I don't know. I'm just saying. Just seems like a good excuse.
No chance. Anyway, the real story out of San Diego is the fact that Padres fans are going to see their lives change. What?
They are.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't. But here's the thing. Does Don Orsillo and Mud Grant, do they get paid? Because they're defaulting on payments to the team, right? They're the ones paying Orsillo and the announcers and the camera people and all that salary.
Mm-hmm.
So do those guys get paid?
Well, I thought with the broadcaster contracts, sometimes they're getting paid by the networks, sometimes they're getting paid by the teams. Most of the time, they're essentially team employees, so it's easy to just kind of shift that over, whatever contract they have. This is all guesswork. We can text our broadcaster friends. I mean, I'm the one with the golden mic, so maybe I can ask one of my broadcaster friends what the situation is. But my guess is nothing will change for them. And the real story here for everyone is the Padres games are not going to be controlled by Diamond Sports, by Bally's and all of that now. You are going to see it under control by MLB. And there were statements. Some of them are kind of boring, but should I read them? I guess. Diamond Sports has decided not to provide additional funding to the San Diego RSN that would enable it to make the rights payments to the Padres during the grace period. They will no longer be broadcasting Padres games after Tuesday, May 30th. So that already passed. While Diamond Sports has significant liquidity and has been making rights payments to teams, the economics of the Padres contract were not aligned with market realities. MLB has forced our hand by its continued refusal to negotiate direct-to-consumer streaming rights for all teams in our portfolio. Despite our proposal to pay every team in full in exchange for those rights, we are continuing to broadcast games for teams under our contracts. This is actually, and that's from Alden Gonzalez sending us that. And let's throw the other one up there while I'm explaining this. So this has been going on for a while. Diamond is trying to get streaming rights because they're like, many people just watch via their computer, tablet, streaming it onto their television, right? And MLB is like, but that's worth something else. So they fight about it. And eventually they're like, we're going to break the contract and not pay you for the rights unless you give that to us. And they said no. So now MLB takes over. And the statement from the chief revenue officer of MLB, Noah Garden, was, while we're disappointed that Diamond Sports Group failed to live up to their contractual agreement with the club, we are taking this opportunity to reimagine the distribution model, remove blackouts on local games, improve the telecast, and expand the reach of Padres games by more than 2 million homes. Now, it's free for like 5 minutes, and then, of course, you're going to have to pay for it if you don't have it on one of the cable company packages or satellite packages that are available. So it's $20 a month or $75 per year to watch the Padres through the MLB platform. Who wants to start?
Let me, that 75 goes to Major League Baseball, right?
Hell yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does.
Here's the thing. It seems like whenever there's a rule that, the players want to change, if MLB says no, after a year, they could change it anyway. And I still think that bodes well now. Right, Scott? All you guys know?
Yes.
So
you can unilaterally impose a rule after a year. Correct.
So they can just do that just now. It's just crazy. I don't know. To me, it's Major League Baseball doing what they want again. So it's who's the culprit of the whole thing? Major League Baseball. They're trying to get their hand in everything. So it's fans are going to have to open up their pockets in San Diego, which is tough, man. Because when I'm growing up, usually that channel is just right there. You watch it. You got your channel ready to go. It's a tough look, to be honest.
Yeah, and MLB is obviously playing the blame game on the other side, saying, hey, I mean, they're not paying us for their deal, which is like $60 million. And I will say two things on what you're saying. One, they can unilaterally impose rules, but that's for on-field. For business purposes, most things have to get worked out with the players. But
it just seems that way. Like, it always seems like they always come out on top. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. I mean, you've got lawyers and businessmen running things in the office. They're going to handle things the way they want to handle things. And I mean, they ultimately do want to take over control of the game. So this is their first test to see how that goes. Most of that money, I don't know what the split is, but obviously most of that money is going to go to the Padres because the Padres aren't getting paid out on their $60 million on their contract. So
it just doesn't, it's a bad look for so many. Well, first of all, Bally / Diamond, right? What's it called?
Diamond is the group that runs
but Bally, Sinclair Media, right? Aren't they the ones originally that had them?
Yes.
They bought them from.
They split it off.
Fox sold them to Disney. Disney had to sell them to Sinclair. Then they split it off. They're claiming bankruptcy. Mm-hmm. They knew when they paid all this money for these regionals what their revenues were, and now they're claiming bankruptcy, so they don't have to pay, but they want streaming rights to make more money. This sounds like a bad business deal from Bally's end from the start. And now they're just trying, almost like Oakland A's are like, we're just going to stop doing everything. So we go to Vegas. We're going to stop doing this so MLB has to give us the streaming rights. And MLB is basically giving them the finger and saying, guess what? We'll cover it. And we'll get all the money back. You guys are SOL. Like, beat it. And I know Orsillo said he still gets paid because he gets paid through the Padres. So he's good.
Is that a live update? Did you get that?
He texted me right now as you were going and talking.
That was my biggest concern.
So they're getting paid, but if you're a Padres fan, don't you feel like you're already probably paying for cable, and which includes Bally, and you want to watch the Padres? Now you got to chunk out other money to watch the games. Will there be no blackouts? Because MLB's famous for having blackouts. So there'll be no blackouts.
They said that they're getting rid of blackouts.
Well, finally,
because of this.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's only been decades.
Yes, I'm fortunate because I work for Fox. My account, I can watch any game because I have blackout free. But like I was in Tampa. I live in Orlando. I couldn't watch the Rays game. They're an hour down the street because of blackout on my TV. Wait, what? I can't. It's the dumbest thing ever. And then this is just on top of it. It's like if you're a fan, you're like, man, I'm getting it stuck to me 2 different times for the cable, for the streaming, or for FUBU or whatever the heck it is that they want you to buy. And then, I want to go watch the game. So then you got to buy. It's like, gosh, how much is it? Enough is enough. Like, we want people to watch the game. Let them just watch the damn game.
Well, not to mention, Kratzy, And hey, I mean, I love some of these partners. I will say I have like some bias here because I've worked for some of them, but there's like 8 other packages that you have to be a part of. Like it's just facts, right? Like if you're Yankee fans complain all the time right now, and this is part of modern media consumption in sports, but baseball seems to be leading the pack where it's like you're a Yankee fan, you have 9 places to look at, you know, and it used to just be basically yes and Fox, right? And some ESPN Sunday. That's already 3. We've added like Apple and Peacock and just the list goes on and on. I mean, everyone knows about it.
Yeah, next year they're starting the Nintendo Switch game. You have to have a Nintendo Switch to be able to watch the Yankees play the Red Sox 3 times during the season. It's a new way for MLB to get money. All this, like, I feel bad for the Padres fans. I really do. Like, this is their team. They're building this team, and they're going to have, from June 1st on, the Padres are going to have a lot of awesome baseball to watch. But all I hear in all this, like, proposal, team pay, everything, disclosure, agreement, walking out, blackmail, all those words, all I hear is the Oakland A's won 2 games in a row, and this is what's taking over the headlines. Like, these guys need to figure it out for baseball, because this just needs to grow. Yes, I get it. Money grows everything. But if we don't lift the whole game up, everybody, people are going to get left behind. And right now it's tough. I wish I knew more about this. I wish I knew what was really going on.
Okay. So another update. So their pre and post games that every channel has, I think they're whacked.
So no pre and post.
I believe so.
Well, right now this is only the Padres. The rest.
I'm talking about. This is from Don Orsillo,
right? So
who works for
Padres pre and
the Padres.
Post
Is the Padres play-by-play guy?
Is gone.
He thinks their guy got cut.
I have heard.
Now I don't know that. I mean, he's literally texting me as we go, and he said our pre and post game. I believe Sweeney and Pomerantz are done. They were Bally employees. See, Orsillo and Mudd work for the Padres.
Yes.
Sweeney and Pomerantz, who are their pre-game kind of host guys that they do the pre and post game show, he said he believes are gone.
So there's no more pre and post for the Padres.
I guess not. Again, this is all through text as we're doing the show. So.
No, I know, but still, that sucks, and that's not
Drew
good
Pomerantz?
coverage of your team.
No, he pitches still somewhere. I mean, he's on the IL, but he is still pitching. No, Pomerantz. I don't know what his I forget his name, but he when Mike Sweeney can't do it, Mike Sweeney.
No, you're right.
Okay, yeah. When Mark Sweeney can't do it, Pomerantz does it. Gotcha. And so I guess they're Bally /Diamond /Sinclair employees, and they got whacked, I guess. That sucks because they were good too. And as a fan, again, this goes back to the fans. As a fan, whatever team you root for, you root for the Mets.
I root for MLB teams. I watch every game equally.
When you were growing up, who did you root for?
For the Mets.
Thank you. So save it, meat. Crash roots for the Phillies, Todd roots for the Yankees.
Why do you care about this part?
Because I'm going to explain this.
Okay.
When I watch the White Sox as a fan, when he watches the Phillies, Frazier is on, yes, for the pre and post, right? People tune in to see that because I want to see what Ozzie Guillen's going to have to say. I want to see what Todd Frazier has to say. I want to see what whoever does the pre and post for the Phillies has to say. If I'm a fan, because guess what? They get me hyped for the game. This is a part of consuming the game now. It's not just, I'm going to turn the game on at 7 o'clock. Most people turn it on 6:30. They get hyped for the game. Who's pitching? Who's been doing good? Who's been doing shitty? Right? I mean, Fox, we do a pre and post game. Everyone does this now. Football, they do it every week. It's the biggest deal, right?
Yeah, but that's what MLB wants to do. Just like the one universal big one and not be hyper-focused on your local team.
It doesn't work because it's not once a week and there's a game every day. You're going to hire somebody to cover 15 games every day in 30 minutes.
You're going to get on random.
You're going to get 30 seconds a game. Todd, when you do the games on Yes, right? People say, "Man, I tuned in and watched you."
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, Kratz, you turn into pre and post on whatever the Phillies are on, right? And watch it and say, damn, Frazier said something stupid today, or Frazier made a great point today, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's part of me watching the game. That's a big deal that those guys are gone.
Listen, I think they pretty much want the MLB tonight to be their pre and post game. I mean, to be truthful. So it's just one thing and everybody can tune into that and go from there. But yeah, I like seeing all the characters, guys that used to play for teams come and do pre and post game. especially if something happened during that game. It's like, oh, I missed it, but now I know I'm going to get the full detailed highlight after the game from somebody who literally watched that one game for 2.5, 3 hours and is going to give a nice breakdown of that whole situation. So me personally, as a fan, I would enjoy that.
Knob said in the chat, Padres announced in addition to MLB TV, all team packages you have to purchase separate, another Padres package. So that's separate from like the extra innings or the MLB.TV package. So
Wait, what now?
To be continued. I think that if you're getting just Padres games, that's a separate fee as far as I know. Don't quote me because I'm going off our smart fans, but separate from, I want to see all the teams. Does that make sense? So it's like, hey, you can pay the package to see all the teams.
Yeah.
Boom, one fee. Boom, another fee for your team.
Oh, so you have to pay extra just to watch the Padres.
It sounds like that's the case. But
so this is a money grab. It's a money grab.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it's a money grab.
Contract.
It's a money grab because Bally's wanted out of their contract, which, okay, they made the decision.
Yeah.
But now MLB is like, well, we can grab a bunch of money by selling out the Padres fans and making them pay for another package?
It sounds like that's the case.
That's dirty.
So stay tuned on that one. I'd like to, I requested this, but way too late, get one of the TV experts on this, John Orans, Alden Gonzalez, paging guys like that. So we'll see. Stay tuned. I want to spend 5 minutes on this next one before we bring in Jeff McNeil. Elly De La Cruz, walk-off homer, AAA Louisville yesterday, 5-4 win. I also want to mention the Reds won their 4th consecutive game. They've scored 34 runs in their last 4 games. They're 3 games back of first place in the not great NL Central. They're 25-29. They won 9-8. Jose Barrera with a grand slam. The point here is that Elly De La Cruz should be up with the Reds any second now because they're kind of relevant right now. And sure, maybe you don't think they have the lasting power in this division, but they might. Cardinals certainly have their flaws. Brewers keep dealing with injuries. They have their flaws. Cubs are falling apart. Just saying. Give Cincinnati a little ride this summer with Elly De La Cruz, Encarnacion Strand eventually. And there's a lot of controversy around this move. Not because De La Cruz is coming up. Everyone wants to see that. But one of their most famous fans, Kirk Herbstreit, has been quite vocal on Twitter, which I love it. I love the passion from Kirk. And there are actually a few other significant Reds fans who I know who are very passionate on this topic who cover other sports. Jason Jackson, who's been a longtime Miami Heat broadcaster down there and a friend of mine. Todd Frazier, yeah, obviously. Let's show the tweets here. Let's run through it. First with Ken and Kirk going back and forth. Our Ken. So Kirk said, this team hasn't had a leader that pushed his teammates every day since Scott Rowland left in 2012. And we finally have that guy. And you write this article, Jonathan India's value goes far beyond the numbers. As excited as we all are about the young talent coming up, India needs to be the rock and catalyst for years to come. Put Elly De La Cruz in the outfield and move on. And this is in response to Ken's article with C. Trent Rosecrans called Fascinating Situation Developing in Cincinnati. Elly De La Cruz coming soon, potentially leaving Reds leader Jonathan India without a clear spot. I encourage you to not only read that, but Ken was all over this story on Fair Territory, and the new episode is out there for you right now on YouTube and on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. C. Trent responded to Kirk and said, Kirk, did you read the article? Half the article is saying this value beyond the numbers. And Kirk said, of course I read it. And while that was covered, why even address this as an issue? What appears to be a logjam in the infield is an easy fix. Guys learn to play other positions. As bad as they've been, they're finally playing with an edge. And Jonathan India is the heartbeat to that. Now he's answering questions from the media about potentially getting moved. Complete bullshit. He's the alpha. Leave him alone. Why create unnecessary drama? Team is finally trending in a good direction. Woo! You know what I want to do first?
What?
Well, we have a guy sitting around here that played for the Reds. He's done a little infield. He's done a little outfield. But it seems like we have a problem within the family right now. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh-wee. This is a pretty good one. I'll be honest with you. This is a good one. I've been through these before where they go back and forth with some guys that know what they're talking about. You got to be real precise about what you're talking about. So knowing Kirk very well from playing in Cincinnati, monster Cincinnati Reds fan. That's what people need to understand. He is a diehard. I think that's his favorite team out of all the teams he roots for. He's sick and tired of them losing, and I know that. This comes one out of frustration because I've seen his tweets from a while back. He used to write all the time about how the Reds, this needs to be changed, or, why are we doing this? He's a big-time fan, and sometimes his emotions get the best of him. Of course, I just don't think he really truly understands how hard it is to go move from an infield position to an outfield position. It's not as easy as just saying, go do it. It takes a whole spring training. It takes almost a whole year to kind of figure out exactly the ball off the bat, where to position yourself, a different card from an outfield perspective of nowhere to position. If one guy moves, making sure you're looking at every outfielder, I can go on and on. So it's a very hard position to move. My man C. Trent, I've had my wars with him too in Cincinnati, and he likes to put his word in everything too as well. So this is where the social media gives you a platform to say whatever you want. But Kurt, I think he comes from a place of frustration, and knowing him, I think he would say that too as well when eventually you guys talk to him. It's a place of frustration, and he just wants the Reds to do really good. And, Ken makes a valid point, though, as well. So within the family, I understand what he's saying. I understand what Kirk's saying. Maybe there's a different way of going about it. That's why I'll leave it at that.
What does manager Frazier do in this situation?
Well, I got to know
when
my
Ellie
team.
Gets called up, where's he playing?
Well, he's the next thing since sliced bread, so he's got to go where he goes. So I think they got to put him at shortstop. I think that's the position for him, and I think as a veteran, Jonathan's going to have to understand, listen, I'm going to have to work my butt off, maybe DH him a couple days, put him in the outfield, people want Ellie in there. I don't know. I think you put him at the position he's at right down there, and after this year, kind of figure out where they want to go with it.
I like it. I like this.
What, the back and forth?
People are talking about the Cincinnati Reds. We ain't talked about Cincinnati Reds all year. Nobody has for years. Right? So people are talking about Jonathan India is a stud too. So you don't want to take him out of the lineup. You can't take him out of the lineup. They got some other young kids. Ellie De La Cruz is supposedly, like Todd said, going to be great. But it's a good problem to have for once if you're the Cincinnati Reds. You're not getting rid of players. You're like, man, we're bringing players in. And listen, Kirk Herbstreit, breaking news, coming on the show tomorrow to discuss this topic.
Nice.
Okay, so we're going to get to ask him these questions. And he's all for it. He loves talking Reds baseball, so we're going to get to ask him the questions. And I want to hear it from him because we can say, oh, he meant to say this or that, but he'll tell us. And he's rooting for the Reds like all the Reds fans are. And it's nice to be saying man, they got too many players, too many good players. What are they going to do? For years, it was like, God, the Reds have Joey Votto and
what? Who
else, right? Now we're talking about Ellie De Cruz, Jonathan India, Lodolo, Ashcraft, all these guys, Hunter Green. You're like, man, this team's not bad. You're talking about them making a charge for the division. You're ahead of yourself. But, right, it's a different thing, and I like it. It's great. And to have fans like Kirk Herbstreit, who everybody knows in the sports world, chiming in on this, plus he's punking Ken Rosenthal, which I'm always for. But it's like great. It's an awesome thing for the game. It's an awesome thing for the Cincinnati Reds to have this problem. Like, the more good players you have, better you are.
It's a great debate. You're right. They've got talent. So let's bring in a friend to help us out with this discussion too, Jeff McNeil of the New York Mets. And I ask this also because Jeff has played infield and outfield, obviously, throughout his career. Jeff, what's going on, dude? Not sure how much you've caught of the combo so far, but a healthy one and a fun one. Got a team in Cincinnati with too many good players. You've bounced around. In your mind, for someone like Jonathan India right now, who's playing his position, but he's aware that Ellie De La Cruz is coming soon. How have you dealt with moving around infield and outfield throughout your career to be more versatile so that your team can fit in more talent around you?
Yeah, it's not an easy thing to do. I was an outfielder in college, so I think that helps a lot, when I went, into pro ball and, they wanted me to start playing outfield like 2 weeks before I got called up to, the big leagues. I was kind of advocating to, be the utility player, throughout my whole minor league career. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to play infield and outfield, but, they're like, we strictly see you as a second, third baseman. That's it. You know, see you as an infielder, and then, a week or two before I get called up, I'm I'm in the outfield. So it takes a little bit of getting used to. It's going to take a lot of early BP. That's kind of where I think you can get a lot more comfortable out there. Seeing balls off the bat, coming at you hard. It's a little bit different than kind of the regular BP with everything going on. You can see it off the machine, and you can go really track those balls down. But it's not it's not easy. It takes some work.
Hey, Jeff, I want to keep going on this. For me, when I started in I was an infielder as I came up, and then I played outfield for a while. The arm angles from throwing were tough for me. I remember a guy like J.D. Davis, for example, who played the outfield, came back in. Remember, he was sailing balls because his arm angle from third base, he couldn't. I feel like he couldn't figure out how to throw again. Which I'm saying it's like just he knew how to throw, but. My problem was my arm angles, and I would spike balls at third base until I finally figured out where I needed to go. Has that ever been a problem for you coming from the outfield to the infield?
No, not really. My arm angles from second to outfielder, they're completely different. So I think that almost makes it easier. When I throw from second base, it's almost like sidearm. I'm kind of just slinging it over there. When I'm throwing from the outfield, I'm well over the top and just letting it go. I kind of focus more on, accuracy from the outfield than arm strength. I want to make a good throw. I know I don't have the, the best arm, but, it's accurate and, I can get some runners. But, it's just something, kind of got to get used to. It's tough bouncing around, but, at the same time, it's a lot of fun.
So if you were to say, obviously you don't know those guys very well, but India's at second, Jose Barrero's at shortstop. To me, Jose Barrero goes to outfield or the minor leagues. Either way, which do you think it would be easier to make the transition? A player who is like an elite athlete or somebody who, like you said, you're like, I wanted to be a utility guy. Who's going to make that transition easier based on the work if he has to make the transition in the middle of the year?
You definitely got to want it. If it's not something you want to do, then it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to learn out there. And, you do have to be, I think, an elite athlete to be able to do both at a high level. It's not easy, but I know India is a fantastic athlete. I think he would do just fine out there. I know there's a bunch of players who have struggled a little bit, but I think he's got the athletic ability. No matter who they put out there, they're going to be just fine.
Hey Jeff, since we're talking about Cincinnati, have you heard about the poop homer?
Yeah. I heard about that before it happened.
Before? Whoa. Wait. What do you mean before it happened? He's like, I got to poop, I'm going to hit a homer?
Yeah. We were. No, what you didn't say he's going to hit a homer, but we were warming up, and he goes, "Oh no, I mistimed this bad," and I'm like, "What's wrong?" He goes, "I got to go," and so we got through, I think, the first inning, and then he leads off the top of the second. He hits it, gets in the dugout. He's like, I got to go. He's out. So I knew it was coming. I didn't know, it would lead to a homer. I think if you can promise him a homer every time, I think he needs to, mistime his coffee every day.
Hey, did he? Now, here's a serious question. I forgot to ask. Did he use the toilet right by the dugout? Did he go back up in the locker room?
That actually I don't know. I was still in the dugout.
I don't know. Up to the locker room,
the rules are you gotta go up. You gotta go to the locker room. I think that's just etiquette.
Yeah,
you can't go in the toilet. Like rule number 1 in Major League Baseball is you can't go poop in the toilet right next to the dugout.
Why?
Because then the dugout will
what if it's an emergency?
You can make it to 20 steps up the
Courtesy flush right away.
No, it doesn't
what
matter.
happens if you're at Wrigley Field, though?
We were just in Wrigley, and that's like 70 steps up.
You might have something fall out of your pants.
Yeah. Some of us might have.
You can't sit down in the one in the dugout. You can't sit down in that one.
No.
Like very few guys are touching that lid. Like there's just pee everywhere on that thing. So you're not sitting down nothing.
True. All right, let's change the subject. Will Pete Alonso hit 60 homers this year? Let's go to something better.
I think so. The way he's going right now.
Has he called Aaron Judge and said, "I'm coming for you, Aaron"?
I don't know, but it's gonna be a fun race. Especially with what Judge did last year. I feel like there's always something going on. Judge's race last year, and then Pete's rookie home run record, which was judged. So there's always some kind of race home run race going on in New York. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Pete can do this year. I think the way he's swinging the bat's pretty stupid. Every time he touches the ball, it seems to go over the fence. So he's got that elite power. He's a good hitter as well. So I don't see him slowing down anytime soon.
Hey, talk to us about the little competition, the pool game you guys got going in the locker room, man. What's going on in there?
Yeah, so we got a pool table. Pete was nice enough to provide us with a pool table. I think it was last year for his home run derby. His home run derby winnings. He bought the pool table for the guys, and we have a lot of fun in there. I bought my own pool cue yesterday, so I think you can say things are getting pretty serious. We get some good battles before the game. Always talking crap with the guys. T-Fam, he thinks he's the best, but no chance. So we get some good battles, and it's a lot of fun.
Who's the best?
We all are very similar, I would say. Like, we all kind of suck equally. We're good, but we're not that good. Like, it's anybody's game all the time. So we'll put a little bit of money down sometimes, not much, and just have some fun with it.
Are you careful though on trash talking with T-Fam? Because
I don't mess with him too much. I'll poke him a little bit, but no, he's not a guy you want to mess with.
No, he's nice, but he's competitive.
I love him. He's the man. He's the man. He's great in the locker room. We have a good time with him, and great addition to the team.
Would you say he's not the man? Because this is recorded. Like, are you a little scared of T-Fam?
No, absolutely. Hey, I'll say whatever.
Just not about fantasy football.
No.
Yeah. Hey, might bring him on the team next year. Who knows?
Yeah.
All right.
There you go.
I like it.
Someone good to team up with.
No more ping pong in the locker room. Ping pong table's gone.
Oh, we still got it. But I haven't played a game of ping pong this year. It's been pool for me, and that's it.
How many times has Louis been on that ping pong table?
Quite a bit. But he's been playing pool too. We've all been just kind of shooting pool instead. There's still some ping pong games going on, but yeah, definitely not as many.
Too many injuries in ping pong compared to pool.
Really?
Yeah, elbows, shoulders.
Yeah.
Guys
we're running around on the ping pong table quite a bit. It's a good warm up. It's not bad right before a game. Get a little bit loose, get the sweat going, and then head out there.
True. You should have a Phillies Mets ping pong challenge because Schwarber and the Phillies.
Is he good?
Yeah. Allegedly is really, really good at ping pong. Okay. And he plays every time I've ever been in the Phillies clubhouse. Mm-hmm. In Philly, he's playing ping pong all the time.
Okay. All right. That'd be fun. I think there should be some kind of, ping pong tournament through all the teams. See who the best ping pong player is out in baseball, because I know there's some good ones.
Do that during the All-Star break.
Every team send their best.
All-Star break, have ping pong tournaments.
That would be good. I like that idea.
Mm-hmm. Jeff, what's your event you have coming up on the 15th in like 2 weeks? What do you got? Instead of what you could have ping pong, pool, golf.
Yeah. So June 15th, we're doing a Drive for Good. It's a Jeff McNeil Drive for Good. It's at Top Golf out in Holtzville. Just to raise money for the PGA, the Metropolitan PGA Foundation, and support them. Golf is something that's big in my life, and just to be able to help out the PGA Foundation up in the Northeast. It means a lot, and doing something good for the community, and just want to let you guys know there's all still bays available, so anyone who wants to come out, would love to have you guys out and get a bay and just enjoy a good time. We're gonna have some of my teammates out as well. They'll be joining in on the fun. Hopefully we can get Pete out there, see how far he can hit a golf ball. But it should be a good night.
Hey, I'm gonna switch gears a little bit. Kodai Senga, unbelievable pitcher. He had a phenomenal game yesterday, but his home and road splits have been crazy this year. Talk to me a little bit about him. How is he as a pitcher, as a person, and what do you think is a test to his home and road splits? Have you seen anything, or is it just
like those home and road splits? They're interesting. Yeah, I saw him yesterday, and he's pitched great at home. I'm not a pitcher, so I wouldn't know, but as a hitter, you have those ballparks that you love to hit in. You have those ballparks you hate to hit in. So, Citi Field might be one of those ballparks you just love to pitch in. He loves the mound, loves pitching in front of the home crowd. They get him going. He throws the ball well here. It's everything's new to him this year too. So it's a little bit different. He's going every time he pitches in a road ballpark. It's something new. So it takes a little bit getting used to. But yeah, no, I'm sure that'll get figured out. He'll start throwing the ball well on the road. But his stuff is elite. He's got a 98 mile an hour four-seam fastball cutter, and that ghost forkball is disgusting. I know. Like watching the game yesterday, I'm out at second base, and they get 2 strikes. I go, all right, here comes the forkball probably, and every single time, swing and miss. It's an elite pitch. It's gross. I saw it in spring training, and I'm glad he's on our team.
Who's the leader of the clubhouse? Who's the leader in the Mets clubhouse?
We got a bunch of them. We got Francisco Lindor. We got Scherzer. We got JV. We got Pete. We got Nimmo. We got a bunch of dudes in our locker room who do a great job. I know it's not easy to lead a team, but we got a bunch of guys who have done that and been in some high leverage playoff games, and they know what to expect and how to get there. So it's nice having so many guys, and it's nice we have kind of Scherzer and Verlander are kind of like the pitchers, so they're gonna lead the pitchers, and we got Lindor and Pete and Nimmo, kind of leading the charge for the position players. And, as a group, that's awesome. Just a bunch of good guys in this locker room. And, I know we didn't, kind of start off how we wanted to, but, those guys have helped, bring the squad together. And, we've been playing some good baseball lately.
Do you feel like that could be do you feel like too many leaders could be bad? And you guys had to feel that out to start the season? And do you think some of the rookies bring an energy that you can feed off of as somebody who's kind of in the middle? You didn't mention yourself as a leader. Are you a leader?
Well, let me first talk about the too many. I think it's good that we have so many. You get so many different opinions, which when one guy says something, it may not resonate with another guy, but it gets to another one of your teammates. You pick up these things from different guys, and I think that's big. And then we do have the young guys coming in. We got Alvarez and Beatty and Vientos, and they've been fantastic. Alvarez is I feel like he's leading already. He's a catcher. When you got a catcher, they kind of need to step up and be a leader right away. So he's done a great job. He's working well with the pitchers, and he is bringing that energy, which has been good for us.
Hey, Jeff, when you guys just faced your old teammate Stroh, he said there was, he gave you the old, I just pitched 8 innings. Huh?
And he pointed.
So were you the anonymous source saying it wasn't about him?
No, absolutely not. He pitched, fantastic though. He is a, electric player, fiery player. We kind of knew, if he pitched well, he's gonna celebrate. That's what he does, and we love the guy over here. So we're actually not really sure where that came from. But when you pitch like that, you can kind of do whatever you want. So credit to him. He was awesome that night. His sinker was elite. It was tough to hit. I thought I was on some pitches and just beat him straight into the ground. So good pitcher. He pitched fantastic the other day too. So good to see him having some success over there, and happy for the guy.
Hey. As not the leader, okay, does that mean you take someone like one of the young guys, whoever the anonymous source was, and throw them up against the locker and say, "Listen, dude, shut up, man. This was bad enough. We got 2 hit or whatever. No more of this, all right?"
Something we we saw, and we just move on. Stroh pitched great. Deserves all the credit in the world, and happy for him. And
lie, dude. You were such dude. No, we're not. You're not happy for him. He pitched it. He shoved it up their butts, dude. They're not happy. Oh, we're so happy. Stroman pitched great. Dude, no way. You always want to whack the dude who's out there.
Yeah, he pitched well.
You're not happy. Yeah, he pitched great.
No, I'm not happy.
He pitched well.
I'm never happy when I'm never happy when I get out. So
exactly. Thank you.
No, we had Pete on Friday,
and
he said 2 things about this. 1, fake news on the quote.
Okay.
He said it's not a real quote. He said, number 2, do whatever the hell you want because we got to play better against them. right?
I agree.
Which we like that.
But you're not happy, Jeff. You're
No.
not happy if you get
No, I'm not happy
two
with
hit.
us, but he's
Yeah.
having success over there. So he's
Yeah, you
I
wish
like
him
the
well,
guy.
except for the games
great.
he pitches
He's a
against
great
you.
teammate. He's fun to have around. So he's pitching well.
Jeff, let me ask you this, because when I played for however many teams, and I ended up facing a bunch of my ex-teammates. Have you hit a home run off of one of your ex-teammates? And if you have you rubbed it in their face more than 9 times? And if you haven't, which one of your ex-teammates do you want to hit a home run off of so badly so you can own him?
That's tough. I've never hit a home run off an ex-teammate. So never gotten lucky enough. But man, I always talk trash to Edwin Diaz. If I ever get the chance to face him, I would love to face him deep. I would love it. We're always going after each other in the locker room. Like if I faced you, I'd take you yard. He goes, no, I'd strike you out. And all. We had some fun with it. So I would love to face him. And I was hoping, obviously really unfortunate. I was hoping got to face him in the World Baseball Classic. But it's tough. But hopefully hopefully never get to face him one day. He's a Met for life. Super happy for that. But we'll have some fun on some backfields.
Next WBC, maybe too, for both of you.
Yes.
I don't think he'll play in the next WBC.
Oh, true.
He's probably going to stay out of the next
honestly,
WBC.
He might. But have you spoken to him? What's the last conversation you've had with him? How's he feeling? What's he saying? And is he still sending out, like, say, a group text to all of you guys going, get ready, baby, October 2nd?
No, he's been great. He's here every single day. So I see him, most days when he's in the locker room. And rehab's going great. I saw he's riding the bike, and he's moving around well. So I think his rehab's coming along well. I'm not sure where exactly it is, but I'm hoping we see him sometime this year. If we can get a nice playoff run, and we can get him closing out some ball games, that'd be electric.
Hey, there's also, I think, another event, right, coming up that I wanted to mix in here. So we covered your golf event. Does Pete have his own event too?
Yeah, I think Pete's got a comedy event coming up. So mine is, I think, June 15th. I think his is June 12th. Like whatever that Monday is, that's his event. He's got a comedy event. Went to it last year. It was a lot of fun. It was so much fun. Pete got up there, did a little stand-up gig, which was awesome. It was about his college summer ball team, and he's just hilarious. So it was a lot of fun. Looking forward to it this year. We should have a bunch of guys from the team there as well. So I know I'm going to go and support that and the Pete Alonso Foundation and all the good that they do. Todd
Father, we just had him on Friday, Pete. How come he didn't mention this and give us a line or two?
I guess we talked about the poop thing and everything just went out the door there. Him, he can't think of 2 things at once. If it's one thing on his mind, then it's over with. All good, man.
Yeah, that's true.
Jeff, where was your golf outing in Chicago? You guys just had a golf outing in Chicago?
Yeah, we just got a few groups out there. It's just 2 groups. I think 6 of us played. Then we had Vogelbach and Drew Smith just hanging out with the boys. It was a good little boys trip out on the course. And I think we got to the first tee. I think there were 6 of us playing, and then 2 of us just hanging out. Like, can we play 6? And they're like, no, not a chance. Like, no way. Like. And so we get off the tee, first 3 holes we play in 2 groups, and then we join up on the 4th. I think there's 6 of us play for 2 holes with 6 of us, and then the marshal comes over. He goes, "You guys can't do that. What are you guys doing?" And I think one of the marshals came up to us and was like, "Oh no, you guys are good. Like just keep up." And there was no one out there. There was nobody out there. Like keep up. And then another marshal came up and said, "No, you guys can't do that. Break up." And then we actually ran into, I think it was Kyle Hendricks' dad works out there. He found out we were out there, so he comes out. He's one of the Rangers marshals out there, and he goes, "You guys are good. Do whatever you guys want. Play 6, have some fun." So we had a good off day with the boys out there. Played a little 6-some, had some beverages, and had a good time.
Wait, where'd you play?
I forgot. It's called the Glenview Club, something like that. It was out there a little bit, but I think it was public course, real nice though. Greens were good. I didn't swing it too great, but it was a lot of fun.
What's not too great? Give me
75.
So it was 75. It was 75.
It's a terrible round of golf.
It was 75. It was even on the front. I had some good holes, and then kind of fell apart. I had a few too many beverages and just started having some fun instead.
Who took home all the cash?
See, they won't play me for money, which sucks.
I knew that was going.
No, see, I'm in a lose-lose situation because either I got to play them for money and they win and they got the shit talking rights, or I win and I'm supposed to win, or I didn't give them enough strokes. It's not fair. Like he's good and yeah, so it's a lose-lose for me. If I give them too many strokes, I win and they're all pissed off, and if I give them too many strokes, then I lose and I'm pissed off. So we just go out there, have a good time, and enjoy the company.
Kratzy, it sucks being elite at golf. Sorry, I was just saying. It's terrible.
Who's the biggest cheater on the team for golf?
Biggest cheater?
Yeah, the guy you're like, you gotta putt that.
No,
you gotta put that all the way in.
That's
I'm
Jeff.
not putting that all the way in. I can't. Not doing it. Not throwing my teammate on the bus like that.
So there's somebody.
So there is somebody though.
An anonymous bet.
Yes.
Jeff,
An anonymous bet said there's a cheater.
No,
on golf.
no,
you text me. You text me it right now. I won't say a word. Just
No.
Hey,
No. He just always finds his ball, and I'm like, I saw it go in that bush, and but that's what I mean. It's a good time. It's a good time. That's all it is. We're having fun.
What's his initials?
Nope.
PA.
It's definitely a veteran guy, because if it was a younger guy, he would have told us who it was.
He would have ripped him.
No.
You give me a
Not
text
doing
later.
Todd's very convincing.
Jeff, have you ever played Liberty?
I have not. Would love to sometime. The one I play the most out here is Glen Oaks. Beautiful course out on Long Island, close to where I'm at. So I head out there, most off days, and it's beautiful. It's so nice. So.
I'm supposed to play there next week. I was trying to get the scouting report on
That's
it.
on the Jersey side.
Okay.
I know.
He's on the Long Island.
But I didn't know. I mean,
Long Island to Jersey is like Orlando flying to New Jersey.
It's a hike for me. It's an hour and a half to get out there at least.
Without traffic.
Hey, my last question. Golfing and hitting a baseball, do you think it messes up your swing? I've had these conversations so many times. What do you think?
I think it helps your swing. I think a golf swing, a good golf swing, it'll help a baseball swing. I think they're two very similar swings on two different planes. From the most part, from the top of your your golf swing, the top of your golf swing, to the ball, that first kind of move is very similar to baseball. One you end up on your backside with baseball, and one you kind of end up on your front side with golf. But you can see a lot of my golf swing and my baseball swing. They're two very similar swings. So, Chili Davis, hitting coach for a while, he always used to tell me, if you're struggling on the baseball field, we got to get you out to the golf course, because that always seems to get you right. And I think that's, very true. So it does two things. I think it helps my swing, and then it helps, clear my mind as well. Golf is my, my outlet, my getaway, makes me, makes me happy out there. So love to get out there and, clear the mind and, then get after baseball again.
Hey, one more for you on the Phils, since you're playing them right now and you guys had a nice dub last night. You seeing your friends from the WBC? You snarling at them a little bit?
Yeah, actually, I didn't get to see him yesterday. No one got to second base, so got to talk to JT there for a second. Talked to him a little bit at the plate, and then he was caught stealing with the review. So talked to him a little bit out there, but didn't get to see Schwarbs or Turner. So we'll see if I wasn't on second base either, so I didn't get to talk to Turner out there. So tough day for everyone, but I'm glad we got the win. But I'll definitely be saying hi to them, and it's good to see them again.
Not pregame BP?
I don't go out there for BP. I just sit in the cage. I love my BP in the cage. I feel like if I take BP out on the field, I get way too big. I try to do things I shouldn't be doing and getting some bad habits. So usually I'm just hanging out in the cage and getting right in there.
That's fair. Otani does that too. So you guys know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Jeff, great catching up, man. Good luck the rest of this series. We'll talk to you in a couple weeks, dude.
All right, thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Cheers, you too. Jeff McNeil from the New York Mets joining us, and we'll post some more information on his event too coming up in a couple weeks.
Dude, times have changed, by the way.
Why?
Because you used to have to hit on the field.
What do you mean have to? Mandatory? by your coach.
Pretty much. I mean, it was. Unless you were a veteran of veterans, you had to hit on the field.
Okay.
They said there was BP, unless you were Paul Molitor when I was with the Twins or somebody like that. Guess what? Your ass was hitting on the field.
Can I present a scenario for you? I am player X, and I am like, yo, BP screws me up, makes me too big. Okay. And coach goes, well, you're doing it anyway. I'm in an 0 for 22. Hey, Skip, can I just skip BP for a day? Okay, cool. I'm going to hit inside. 4 for 4. Hey, Skip, can I do it again? 3 for 4. Hey, Skip, can we just make this a permanent thing? No. Week later, slump again. You're still going to say, screw you. You can't do what you want to do.
I'm not saying this. I didn't say this.
You're representing the manager
I didn't
right now.
say this. I'm just saying that there was no, you're not hitting on the field.
I mean,
we're taking BP. Guys would take a day every once in a while where they wouldn't. Like, say you're playing 20 games in a row and you had six straight games where you take BP. Guys would be like, oh, I'm tired on the 5th day. I need a day. Okay. But to never hit on the field?
It's common now.
Many guys
do it.
That's what I said. Things have changed.
Yeah,
I want to get out there. Either you take early BP so you don't have to hit later, or you take BP. If you need a break here and there, I understand. I had hitting coaches say, you do whatever you want, okay? Just make sure you're ready for the game. You don't have to take BP, but if you're not ready for that game, then we're going to have a couple problems. But hindsight 2020, it is a different game now. A lot more injuries, it seems like. So, but for me, I wanted to get out there, wanted to feel the air, cold air, hot air. I wanted to sweat. I wanted to know what I needed to wear later on during the game. I wanted to run. I wanted to be chatty with all the players. That's the camaraderie part about it, behind the backstop there, the turtle, whatever you call it, and you're ready to rock, man. And you talk to the fans. Like, that's the stuff that I miss about baseball from not playing anymore. That's the back and forth chatter. You have a fan behind you, won't hit a home runs, like, all right, and I try to hit on whatever. You have some fun stuff with fans, not only the people that are there, but you get to talk to your coaches and talk to the players and figure out what you're doing right or wrong. And I think that's the best part about baseball. One up.
I always went out. That was my game. That was the game that, like, I remember one of my managers was like, he's like, yeah, this guy, he's not out here. Does he not want to play in the game today? Like, he's not even starting. Like, I'm not going to go to him if we need a spot in the DH, in a pinch hit situation. It was just Scott, your scenario, Scott, is like, okay, I hear what you're saying. But Colby Rasmus, that brings me up Colby Rasmus's story. He didn't like taking regular BP from the sense of, like, the guys just kind of lob it in. He always grew up. And he made the big leagues at 19, 20 years old with the Cardinals. And they were just always lobbing BP in. And it wasn't – he's like, I want velo BP. So he actually went off-site because he told guys he wanted the BP guy closer or somebody that would throw harder. He went off-site. His dad came in, and he was hitting at a high school field. Same exact scenario. Struggle, raked. As soon as his dad came in, started taking real BP, then they made him take the extra BP. And then the Cardinals, Tony La Russa, found out that they were going off the field, and he called the high school coach in St. Louis where the guy was, where they were hitting, and letting him on the field, made him stop because, nope, you got to do what our team stuff says.
See?
Yeah, but that's hurting your production. What about Ohtani? Who's volunteering here? Because Ohtani doesn't take BP. Does like BP every once in a blue moon. Just kind of feels like to put on a show in Fenway. Or
I said it's changed. Or you could have managers like Ozzie Guillen. We asked Ozzie one time, "Can we take early BP?" And he said, "No." We're like, "Why not?" He said, "Well, you guys can't hit in the game. Why would I waste my coach's time, make him get there an hour early to watch you guys suck at extra BP?"
You should show up to Pete's comedy show.
Exactly. But I was with Todd, though. I wanted to be out there because I wanted – I hit in the first group and then I'd go in. So it wasn't like I was out there for hours. I mean, I'd hit in the first group and then go in. But still, there was – I wanted to see the ball off the bat because you learn so much. Where you hit in the cage all you want. McNeil, Jeff said, he gets big or whatever. But I wanted to see the ball where it went. So I knew if I was in the right spot with my swing. Because if I could backspin a ball – a ball in and keep it fair, I was like, okay, I'm in a good spot with my hands. So for me, it was important. And I love, dude, BP was like, stretch 10 minutes, hang out with the fellas, take you around for 15 minutes. You're inside 30 minutes later.
Yep.
Get ready for the game. But yeah, I mean, I see about Nick Markakis never took BP on the field. Each person has their own thing. And do whatever, like touch it. Be ready. Just be ready when 7 o'clock, that first pitch comes. Your first at bat, be ready. I don't care how you get ready. Barry Bonds never hit on the field half the time either. But you know what? That game started, he hit on the field.
Scott, let me finish with this. You never want to be known as a 5 o'clock hitter. Okay, so that's something you don't want to be known as.
Right. So, and there were some. I brought him up a few times. Who's your favorite 5 o'clock hitter? I like his name too, like Willie Mopena. Dude, put on an absolute BP show.
Oh, yeah.
Franchi Cordero. Juan Francisco, is that who you said? Yep, no, that's a good one.
I didn't say that. Eric did.
Oh, why? 'Cause that's your boy, right? Former teammate.
No, he's a good dude. I mean, oof. Some balls I'm still going right now. It's on Willie Mopena and his bat. It's ridiculous.
Yep. There's some actually. Loretz had a good run of
no kidding.
5 o'clock hitters.
Yes.
No, that's true. It's fair.
Yeah.
It's important though. My thing is for the fan perspective, fans obviously want BP on the field. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Ohtani, you're showing up for that game. You want him to hit, but at the same time, if he's like, hey, I'm not doing on-field BP, nobody is saying, yes, you are. Nobody. Because he's doing a lot.
No,
I don't want him to
that's
change.
what I said. The game's changed.
Yeah.
They need to open up the gates for BP. I think that's something for years that they need. During the playoffs, they open the gates up and you get to see more BP. You rarely get to see home BP. Sometimes you'll get to see the visiting teams, but they need to open it up for the home team too.
Yeah.
I think so as a fan.
I agree, man. 4:30 for a 7 o'clock game. Let's go. You get more people getting food, beverages. You'll make more money for one. I know that's what Major League Baseball is worried about. I mean, you make more money, and the fans get to get out there. You got your boy with you. Oh, look, did you see that swing? This and that. Heads up, here comes the ball. Like that stuff. That's professional baseball, man. Get out there early, man, and have them enjoy it.
What's the excuse of why they don't open it up?
Too
Especially
early
now.
Workers have to pay the workers to get early.
Yeah, but you can get the food. I guess they've done the math, and
Doesn't add up.
Trust me. If
They figured it out.
They know.
Okay, so
the game's
you want to know how important BP was for me, especially on the road. Every last swing of BP, I had to hit a home run.
Oh my goodness!
Whoa!
Because that way, I could always say the last swing I took. It was the last swing I ever taken Yankee Stadium. It was a home run.
You were an Uno Mas guy.
Wait,
I would stop. If I'd hit one, I'd stop.
I know, but what if
he
you
said
didn't
the
hit
last
one
swing I got in Yankee Stadium. Why would you say Yankee Stadium?
I'm just throwing out
New
New
York
York
bias.
New York bias.
Again,
I'm just saying the most famous stadium, right? Yeah. Wrigley, right? So my last BP I ever took, I knew it was my last game. I hit a home run. Then I was like, okay, I'm done. And then my son was shagging. So I hit a ball. He was in left field. I hit a fly ball. My son caught it. And I was like, that's it. I'm done. Walked off the field, BP. My last BP swing, my son caught.
That's cool.
And I was like, okay. But I did it every time. Boom. Last swing in BP was always a home run.
Every single time.
Every single time.
What was the longest you went without a home run? And people are like, dude.
No, it wasn't that. BP, it was flick.
Right. So I'm saying, like, did you ever have, I don't know, 3 or 4 swings and you're like,
yeah, I mean, there's a couple times where you run and you roll a couple over.
Yeah.
But most of the time it was pretty, I mean, PP was, you got a guy throwing 50 that can just throw, Eddie Perez was throwing it right where he wanted it. You're like, doosh, okay. Next.
I hit a home run. I knew it was my last BP ever. We were in San Diego. I hit an opposite field home run, right center. I was like, that's it. See ya. I knew I was done.
See?
Foul territory. Coming for you. Hey, let's get to our next guest on FT Live. He is on the Rockies, pitcher, veteran, former Brewer. Brent Suter joining us right now on Foul Territory. Brent, great to see you, man. How you been?
What's up, guys? I'm good. How are you guys?
We are good. We are good. So how's life in Denver?
It's great. We've been loving it so far. Everyone welcomed me with open arms right away, and felt like I could be myself right off the bat. And Buddy B and all the coaching staff's amazing, so it's been really good.
What's it like being a pitcher in Denver? Forget the life. Pitching in Denver's got to be a different. I mean, you were in Milwaukee, so it's not that much different because Milwaukee was not like the biggest park in the world, but you went from Milwaukee to Colorado.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's a tough place to pitch, no doubt. Stuff moves, doesn't move as crisp. The outfield is feels like 8 oceans big. So it can be a little tough. I was pitching pretty well there until my last outing, where the outfield just they kept on spraying line drives, and it was finding grass. So I got to make the adjustment back against that. But overall, it's been not too bad. I pitched parts of 3 minor league seasons in AAA in Colorado Springs, so that kind of gave me a little test of altitude and what my ball does in altitude. So that helped a lot, but it's certainly a good challenge for us.
Yeah, you talk about how you're not at 3-0, 1.99 ERA, 31.2 innings pitched. I mean, you haven't allowed a home run. I'm not a big jinxer guy, so I just come right out and say it. I don't really care. You're doing phenomenal, man, especially in a place like that, man. Do you attest that to the Colorado Springs, being there for 3 years, trying to understand it?
Yeah, a little bit for sure. I think the pitching coaches do a great job of preparing us and giving us freedom. For instance, they're really exploring me throwing my 2-seam to both lefties and righties, which has been great. And then I think our bullpen just culture and chemistry out there has been really great. People are feeding off each other. Everyone's doing their job, and we got a bunch of other guys that are pitching well, and so it kind of takes the weight off everybody else. But it's been really great out there, and we just kind of feed off each other. Like I said, do our job and hold some leads out there.
Hey, Brent, in Colorado, when you pitch in Colorado, you mentioned the size of the outfield. The teams are always like, okay, do you want to take away the singles, move the infielders in, or move the outfielders back and say, we'll give up the single, try to take away the extra bases? Which ones do the Rockies talk about? Which one would you rather have as a pitcher?
That's a good question. I think for me and how I've been kind of getting contact, I would rather have them playing up and trying to take away the flare singles because, not trying to brag or anything, but the hard contact hasn't been as frequent as kind of the flare single or, missed barrel and getting a single dropped in there. So I would prefer maybe the outfielders play up, but it kind of just depends on the guy and how they're seeing me that year and all that stuff. So I think whatever the Rockies are feeling is that I'm cool with, but maybe a little bit I would lean towards playing up and trying to take away those flare singles. But it's a little riskier, but that's just kind of how I would do it as would be pitching.
Come on, Suter. Let's go. You're on here boring us with all this baseball talk. I want to know why. What is it about Colorado that you're like, yeah, I'm the cheese out here?
I'll tell you what, I'm loving my the front door 2-seamer this year. It's one of those pitches where I'm coming off the mound. Like after I stick it, I'm coming off the mound with the chest out. You know what I mean? Do a little pigeon walk off the mound for sure. But and honestly, I think my changeup has been playing up there really well. My changeup's been a big pitch for me these last couple of years. It was about as hard as my fastball back in 21. And I was like, this ain't going to do it. I need to change my grip up. So I ended up putting my grip on my ring and pinky finger. And since then, it's been way better, way slower, and kind of my go-to out pitch.
Hey, Brent, they want you to refresh the link there because we're getting a little bit of static and all that for the crowd. So we will buy some time while Todd Father tries to figure out your grip. There we go. We'll get right back to Brent. What do you got for us there?
He said the pinky and ring. So is he putting it? So is it a circle? Hold on here. Is it a circle change with more emphasis on these 2 fingers here?
Yeah, that's what he's talking about. Just moved it over. He just moved it over.
Instead of here.
Yeah, he just moved it over.
Oh, man, that's got to be even hard. I mean, might be even slower because he said it was just as fast as his fastball. Eric, you put your hands on there, you wouldn't know the difference because you cover the damn ball. Jesus.
I'm telling you, this dude, this is what I want to get into with Suter B. This guy he's super smart. He is a ridiculous worker, and his energy is obnoxious. He was the first bullpen that I caught when I got traded to the Brewers. I'd never heard of him before. This was in 18. He had been up sparingly in 16 and 17, and the pitching coach, DJ, Derek Johnson, was like, wait till you catch this guy. And he goes, just don't be late for the bullpen. And as a new guy, you come in, you're like, all right, I got to catch all the bullpens of the starters so that I know who they are, kind of see what they do. I wasn't late, and this guy's out here, and he's sweating. I mean, already just dripping sweat after every pitch. He puts his hand inside his armpit and goes to get another pitch. And it was the quickest 35-pitch bullpen that I've ever caught in my life. It was just go, 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 go. And it was just pitch, 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 pitch. So the high altitude must be killing you, Suter B.
That's why you get the cardio done in the off season, so you can get it done. And the pitch clock, honestly, got a little training during spring training on pitching a little quicker. I believe it or not, I was kind of affected by the pitch clock the first couple outings. Felt like someone was just pushing on me the whole time. Like I had to be even quicker, and then I kept looking at the clock in the post game video, and I was like, I have 9 seconds left on the clock. Why was I feeling rushed? So that's been one thing. And covering first, definitely you got to take an extra breath, or when you sprint plays or whatever, you got to take an extra breath up there in Colorado. But definitely want to work quick, want to attack the zone. That's kind of my motto of pitching. That's how I get outs a lot.
And I know you're an efficiency guy, so are you pissed that they didn't name the pitch clock the Brent Suter rule, like we have the Buster Posey rule?
Not mad at all. If anyone, should have been Wade Miley or Mark Burley rule or something like that. Those guys are goats on that.
What do you think of it? I mean, for the rest of the league, are you telling guys like, yeah, this is how my life has always been?
Some guys ask, have I always been quick? And I say, yeah, I probably started in college. You know what I mean? And junior year of college, started working a little quicker. And then I got the rookie ball, and guys were kind of feeding off it and going like, dude, you pitch fast. Could you try to pitch even faster? Like, this is great for, game time. And I was like, sure, I'll give it a shot. And sure enough, got a little too quick at times. But for the most part, it's been a really good weapon of kind of like setting the tone. If I want, as soon as that batter's ready, I'm ready to go and ready to attack.
I got something, different lines here, talking about the environment. I remember when I played, there was a kid named Chris Dickerson who was all about it, helping planet, recyclable things. I went to a couple events where, we would throw away computers and make sure everything was put in the right place and anything to help the environment. I know you and Brandon Woodruff, you guys were locker mates, and he saw you walking around. You had one water bottle for a long time that you use, and you explained them your intentions on that. Can you go a little further on that for us, please?
Yeah, for sure. I'm all about trying to limit our energy use, limit plastic waste, trying to get efficiency going with our lifestyle. And I've actually worked with Chris a ton. I've been a player for the Planet here for about 4 or 5 years, and we do a lot of work together, go to the DR for beach cleanups, do a lot of reforestation projects. So he and I have gotten really close over the years, and can't wait to see what the next chapter holds. But it's one of those things that's been on my heart since 2006 to kind of have environmental awareness, environmental activism be a part of my life. Studied environmental science and public policy in college, and then since then, even though I went into baseball, I've been trying to use the platform as a way to kind of spread that messaging and get some behavior changes with myself and with people around me.
Suter B, what happened to the water bottle, though? Do you remember that story in 2018 that your water bottle got?
Yes, I do. It was a glass water bottle with the protection on it, and it was sitting right behind, I think Taylor Williams was who was throwing. It was like a little off to the right to him. He pulled the changeup, and it just went right on the glass and exploded everywhere. So, I do. I got a little different. I got a Walla water bottle. It's like stainless steel, so no glass on the field anymore.
Yeah, and you're not denting that thing with as hard as you throw. You can't even put a half a dent in it.
Right. Correct. I can't break this thing. This is I don't know if Taylor could break this thing. This is strong, but yeah, I'm certainly not giving it a chance.
Kratzy, I thought you were gonna say someone took it from him. Like someone tried to pull a prank and be like, "Yo, I got your water bottle ransom."
No. The pranks we would pull on him, we would put plastic water bottles that we would drink out of, and we'd put them in his locker, and he just had the best attitude about it. He'd be like, "Guys, you really don't need to be drinking out of that. Do you feel like do you want me to go get you some water?" And he would he would go and fill up a water for guys, and then he would be like, "Here you go, guys. Here's here's your reusable. He bought reusables for the whole team, except Pat Murphy didn't get one, and he was pissed.
Right.
What happened?
I think I ended up getting him one after, but in the first shipment, I forgot to include them or something, and the video guys, and so they were on me for a while until I got them.
Well, hey, Brent, it was great to see you, man. Great to catch up. Yeah, we had a little bit of a connection fight to go, so we'd love to have you back sometime soon, dude, and keep crushing it out there. I know it's not easy.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, sorry about the video. I feel like I'm in slow motion out here.
No, it's perfect timing. It's the perfect walk off here. The Wi-Fi is just absolutely dominating you right now. But we'll get you back, man. Appreciate you, Brent Suter, joining us. Super nice dude. And yeah, no, that's been a story that's been out there for a long time. I mean, he will get you your own water bottle if you want.
Yeah, but he'll fill your water bottle up too.
Like, I mean, that's next step, next level
boy.
Niceness.
That's the water
boy. See, Mr. Nicknames over here would have been like, "Hey, water boy." You heard about the Pete Alonso polar bear story from Todd Father? He's gotten residuals on it.
He wishes.
If there's anybody that we need a good Wi-Fi for, it's Suter B, because you got nothing from Suter. Like he's just constantly all over the place. His laugh, he's funny. He's got all these twitches. Like when he strikes somebody out, he tried to say it and show it. He walks off with like a bird chest. He walks off the mound, and then after every pitch, he's whipping into his armpit sweat. And he's on the mound. Oh, it is Orlando Arcia. Orlando Arcia does an incredible Suter B impression pitching on the mound.
I just remember him falling off the mound that one time. That was pretty funny.
Falling pitching, or the time he fielded it on first and fell and dove and still tagged the runner out?
No, when he fell off the mound. I don't remember the other one. That was funny.
Yeah,
I mean, AJ's just trolling me on the show right now. Sorry, guys. That's messed up, dude.
It's a fly.
I know, but he's still alive.
Well, kill him.
I don't want to kill him. That's not nice.
That's a fly.
You kill him.
It's a fly. I already did
No,
all the damage
he's
for him.
Still alive.
Here, eat him.
You won't.
Yeah, it looks like a booger on your finger.
He's on your notes.
There, he's gone.
It's messed up.
But I can't wait to have Suter back on.
Anyways, the fly was flying all around, landing. I killed
Sorry,
him.
I have to deal with my 6-year-old over here.
Sorry, I don't like flies in my face.
They're flicking flies at me during the show.
Flicking flies.
Flicking flies.
Hey, on a much more mature note, let's get to our baseballer viral hit of the week. Our squad over at Baseballer with this viral post that has gone nuts. This is real video. And for the podcast audience, the play-by-play of, yes, a rando fan running on the field in Oakland at the Coliseum. And there's been disputes about, was it pre or post game? But I'm like, no, this was pre-game.
It's pre-game.
Yeah, exactly.
100% pre-game.
And look at this dude go and then eventually run off the field. No security, because I guarantee you John Fisher, A's owner, everyone knows his damn name at this point, probably barely has anyone under a role like this, which actually this is sort of dangerous. I mean, obviously nothing really happened, but this kid just runs back to his seat like nothing happened. If this happens at any, like for StatCast, if StatCast did something fake, I'm making this up. If this happens at any other ballpark, the kid gets decked by 3 human beings that are getting paid, as they should, by ownership. But instead, yes, Todd Father?
He ran the bases the wrong way, too, which I thought was funny.
You can imagine the comments about running the bases. They're like, yeah, that looks like the Oakland A's this year. So
there's no security? The groundskeepers just watched him. One guy tried to trip him with like his broom as he went past. He tried to trip him, and then he just jumped. And there was a security guard right there. He jumps back into the seats.
That guy opened the gate for him.
Yeah, the security guard didn't even try to stop him.
Yeah, but he's the only one, and if he goes after him, then there's no one left.
Well, we've already shown the video of the lady security guard going up chasing the 2 people in the top deck. Remember the video? So there's only security in the stands. There's no security on the field.
There's barely any security there. I would be pretty confident in that. And there's beef online about it too.
I mean, he ran all the way around, and nobody blinked an eye.
Nobody
stopped him, tackled him, yelled at him. They're just watching him go by. The guy sweeping home plate just runs, touches home plate, goes to third base. The one guy at third tried to trip him.
If you watch him at home plate, I think that guy's telling him like, "Hey, you got to like go." Like he was sending him. He was sending him to third.
Oh my god!
Like it's incredible. Like the issue that he's gonna have though is there's no one in the stands. They're like, "Yeah, it's that guy." Oh yeah, it's that guy. There's you got 60 people to choose from. He looked like he had a jersey on too, so that's a big seller.
I mean, I got to mix in some comments here. M1, J5, whatever. They kind of have to tolerate it. If they ban him, half of their attendance will be gone. Rich, surprised they didn't let him pitch in the first. Nick, he touched more bases than the A's did all game. Great job, kid. Peekaboo, the ballpark's so lame, even security doesn't try. I got two more. Some Zone is like, this is like stand-up here. Some Zone, not like he could blend in with the crowd. And Goldin, and security just looking, doing the bare minimum. Hey, you stop. Don't run on the field. Okay, run on the field, but don't run the bases. Okay, run the bases, but then go back to the stands. That was good.
Oh, man.
If you're on the field, one of you guys, and a fan runs on, and hey, sometimes it is a security threat. There's been security issues. Are you telling the team, hey, we gotta clean this shit up? Are you decking them yourself?
I had an example in Colorado. It was great because I forget, somebody was throwing pretty much a perfect, I think it was either perfect game or no hitter, and we had 2 outs in the last inning, and a girl dove right into the dugout right before the netting goes up, landed on her back, got up, and ran right in our locker room. We're yelling for security to get her out. Stopped the whole game. Next to bat, Melky Cabrera, single to left field. So that's the only time we appreciated that, because you don't want a no-hitter or a perfect game against you. But, and my other example is the Yankees guy. Eric, you remember the guy with the Yankees who wear the Michael Jordan cleats all the time?
Oh, the security guard or guys with security?
No, the guy on the field. He was just.
I know who you're talking about, but I don't remember his name.
You didn't want to mess with that guy. He had. I think CC Sabathia gave him some Jordan cleats. This guy, he had good traction. He wasn't going to get tripped up, man. So that's one guy I wouldn't want to go on the field with.
There was a lot of I've never really been on the field where guys come close to me. I've seen them run on the field, and they always go in the outfield. They never come by home plate. We had a guy once in Kansas City, jumped on the field, broke his leg. So they had to bring the ambulance out on the field to get him off the field because he broke his leg when he landed on – because he used to have AstroTurf around the – boom, broke his leg. Dude, stopped the game. They had to bring the ambulance on. Then we had a guy when I was with the Rangers. We're in Tampa. Dude runs down the steps, and we were hitting. So the Rays were in the field. And I'm standing next to Ron Washington. All of a sudden, we see this dude come over our shoulder, flip, rips his pants off. He had those pull-away pants, tighty-whities, runs to second base, trying to steal second base. The security guards were scared to tackle him because he only had his underwear on. They finally get him. They're bringing him off the field. He's going crazy. I guess it was like some YouTube dude, like a stunt guy on YouTube. But he would rip off all his clothes and just run out on the field in just his tighty-whities. And they had him cuffed, and he's walking off the field in just his freaking little white underwear.
Well, I hope he made some good money on that video.
We were in Cincinnati before it was. I think it was a day game. I think it was like July 4th or something like that. And all of a sudden, the game's over, and we're in the clubhouse. We lost, and all you hear is, "Hey, don't let her in there!" And this girl comes blasting. You know, the visiting clubhouse. You got to walk up that tunnel, and then you turn right. And then you're kind of in another hallway, and you go all the way down, and you can get into the batting cage. This girl comes blasting through. She like kicked the door, blasting through, looking like a trapped cat, like looking for a place to run, and she just runs into the cage. 2 overweight security guys, easy 10 seconds behind her. She runs into the batting cage and is stuck and is just like trapped in there and doesn't know where to go. We lost the game, but it was so memorable because there were so many people that so many guys were like, "Yeah, get her, yeah, get her out of here." Like she was, but somehow they got into the locker room, not into the actual locker room, but in the hallway right outside the locker room.
The only time it was okay, we were in Texas and there was a tornado warning. So they brought all the fans out of, and they brought them into the actual tunnel. And there were so many, they actually were they kept them out of the locker, but they were in the weight room, which is connected in the old, they were literally, there was people everywhere except in the actual locker. There's people everywhere. So they were like, we're locking all the doors. You guys stay in the locker room. But there's people, you could look out the window, and there was just people like trying to like look. We had blinds. We were peeking through, and they were trying to look back.
Peeking back. Hey, I got backstage pass. One more layer to this, because this actually created some online beef between Ben Verlander and Dallas Braden. So Ben posted the video and was like, A's fan ran out onto the field before the game, went all the way around the bases, and nobody cared. Haha, pretty harmless. Dallas was like, or maybe it was after the game when even fewer people care. Insert your attendance joke wherever you'd like, but inserting a fact could also be beneficial, nerd. And they were going back and forth.
Whoa.
Ben was like, haven't made a single attendance joke all year. In fact, I've been very vocal about how great Oakland fans are, how they deserve better, and how they need an ownership that actually cares about them. Not really sure where I made fun of anything in this tweet. And then there's a lot. So there's only 2 more. I might as well read it. Not really sure. Let me help. Quote, nobody cared. Would you have a fan take umbrage with the other fan's behavior? Maybe a food vendor who had already gone home because it was after the game should have stopped him? Or are you implying that nobody in an authoritative position cared enough to react? Hashtag Windex. And then lastly, I thought it was pretty clear what I was saying. Nobody that was on the field cared enough to stop him from doing what he was doing. You're making this an attendance thing. If you want to have an attendance talk, I'd love to. I have some passionate thoughts about Fisher. So we actually, Dallas, you can come on. I've been around Dallas. Like we can talk it out. We shit on everything if we have to. I just thought, I was like, whoa, this video is pretty harmless. We don't need that on either side. So
no. It wasn't anything about the attendance. It was just about the fact that a fan ran on the field, ran the bases, and nobody stopped him. I mean, how many people?
Also, the attendance does suck. That's a fact.
The facts are the facts. No one shows up.
Yeah, no one shows up. And guess what? It's the owner's fault, not the fans. We've been, I think, the most like stand-up platform for A's fans the whole year. Would you agree?
100%.
Yes. And A's fans, we get DMs every day from A's fans and counts saying, thank you for covering what's going on here, because we don't really feel like we have a place to go and we love watching your content. So just saying, just wanted to point that out. Like, it's all in good fun here, except next time maybe have a few extra security guards, because like if the dude is trying to be a pain in the ass.
Before, even after the game, they shouldn't be able to just run on the field.
Either way, right. Whatever the situation is,
who cares?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Before, after.
Minor league game, you can always run on fields.
Exactly. So, yes, that one had some heat to it. Thank you, Baseballer. And if you want to follow all of their sweet content, then you can check out their website, but also at the Baseballer, BSBLR, on Instagram, always giving us a viral hit of the week. One of my favorite segments now that has emerged. We have our next and our final guest of the day joining us just about now, Ken Goldin, who is the owner of Goldin Auctions. They are known historically for selling billions in sports memorabilia. You might have caught him now as the star of the Netflix series King of Collectibles, which just opened up it's been about a month or so, 6 episodes. I can't wait to dive into that. I've not had time yet. I was going to try and do it, but I was like, it's too late. But I am going to watch all 6. Ken, great to have you on. How you doing today?
Glad to be here. I'm doing great. Thank you.
So I wanted to start out with where everything you're doing came about. Did you always have a love for sports memorabilia? Give us, your background in a minute or less, so everyone knows where you're coming from for our audience.
Sure. So I've never made a penny any other way in my life except sports cards and sports memorabilia. I was a collector, 8, 9-year-old, did my first transaction as a trade with one of my friends when I was 12. And then I just started buying and selling all through high school. And, that's what I've done all my life. And in 2012, I started Goldin Auctions. And, first year we did $800,000 in sales. And, last year we did over $300 million.
Hey, Ken, what's up, big dog? Good to see you again.
How you doing, Todd?
Good
seeing you. Long time.
Yes. So I got a couple items I want you to look at right now, and I want you to tell me, give me, if you can, off the top of your head, maybe a price range. If it's if value, I'm not trying to sell them. I just want to see what you think. So I got a Pete Rose autographed jersey. It says Hit King on there. It's got the number of hits. One of his jerseys that he worn. What do you think on this piece right here?
Okay, so the problem with Pete Rose is there exist more signed Cincinnati Reds jerseys with his signature than unsigned ones. But no, I love Pete. I've known Pete since the 80s. A typical jersey like that is probably like a $400 or $500 retail item.
Okay, all right. Now I'm going to go to the 1986 Mets here.
Hey,
I got the whole Mets team on here. 1986, one of the jerseys. I don't know. I don't think it's game worn, so it's a random. I don't think it's one of those game worn jerseys, but got the whole team on here. What do you think about this one?
I mean, interestingly, it looks like it's in nice condition without a lot of bleeding. A lot of times these guys sign it in and it bleeds. I would say, for the right buyer, you're probably looking around $1,500 to $2,000.
Let's go. Where'd you get that, Top Father?
Hey, you keep your mouth shut over there, Scotty, okay? Hey, I got two more things. Something real unique here. You saw this the other day. Joey Chestnut signed a Nathan's hot dog box for me here. It said, eat like a, I think it said, eat like a boss, it says on there. There's something not many people are going to have. So if to the right buyer, what do you think about this one, Joey Chestnut?
To the right buyer, $50.
$50, come on, man.
Yeah, you want me to be honest, right?
All right, and my last thing here, and AJ's going to love this. I got a Joe West, one of his clickers he used. He signed on the back for me. Joe West, he's the umpire that he's got the record for most games umpired. So what do you think? Something unique is this if I get the right umpire to take this one?
It is unique. I mean, is he a Hall of Fame umpire? Is going to be the big question, right? I mean, he should be, right? So probably, look, there's not a huge market for umpire memorabilia, but probably something that could be a few $100.
Okay.
Joe West thinks there's a huge market.
Yeah, Joe West will tell you
umpire memorabilia. Let me tell you, okay?
Okay. All right. The Mets one is a big one. So if you want to buy it off me, you give me $3,000, we'll call it a day. Okay.
I think Ken's okay. Kratzy, what do you got?
All right, mine are on pictures, and before we get to the pictures, we're gonna pull them up here, Ken. Sorry that Todd is showing you all of his junk. Like I can see your face, like you're like, dang. But before we get to the pictures, my one question is, for you, what is like the white whale item? What is the you're like, oh my gosh, this is the holy grail of items that I would love to auction off? Because I watched the Jackie Robinson episode.
Yep.
And I was hooked to it as soon as I watched that one, so I killed it. But for you, what is the item that you're like, I gotta do that?
I mean, you have to realize I've sold like 7 or 8 T206 Honus Wagners, so that's amazing. We've sold Babe Ruth game used bats, Jackie Robinson game used bats and jerseys. What I would love to find for me, because I'm like a baseball freak. I'm one of these kids when I was 12 years old. I memorized the price guide. I memorized the baseball encyclopedia. So if I could find an authentic Babe Ruth game-worn Red Sox jersey, that to me would be the ultimate, or something worn by Joe Jackson. Again, and the key with this stuff is really being able to get it authenticated. I've had a lot of, the funny thing is there's been so many things that could have been. I had one guy with really good provenance who told me that he had the actual ball in the shot heard around the world from the 51 playoff between the Dodgers and, the Dodgers and the Giants. Of course, Bobby Thompson's home run, but there's no way to prove stuff like that. So if you can get an authentic game-worn Joe Jackson jersey, or an authentic, and I've seen several Babe Ruth Yankees. There's about 5 or 6 of them that are known to be real out there. But if you can find a Boston Red Sox one when he was a stud pitcher, I mean, to me, that would be, amazing. And obviously, there's a lot of great trading cards. I can say I'd love to get a really great Honus Wagner or a PSA 10 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle. But one of those items would really be earth-shattering.
All right, so we'll get to my pieces here. The first picture is a picture of a. Okay, well that's the first picture. How much would you give me for this blanket?
Oh my God. Probably $500. I love Todd.
Yeah, that's my guy.
That is a unique one. One of one.
Oh man,
that was good.
But no, the second one is a picture of a chest protector. Actually, I don't even know if I took a picture of it. So yeah, there it is.
I see it. Who
Chest
signed it?
protector. Now you're like, all right, what is it? Whatever. In 2010, I played for Team USA in the pre-Mundial, the Pan Am game qualifiers. Todd Frazier's on there. Future should have been Rookie of the Year. We had Eric Hosmer. We had some other we had Mike
Trout.
Montgomery.
Trout.
We had Chris Archer, but Mike Trout's autograph is on that chest protector. When he makes the Hall of Fame, which of my kids can I put through college with that?
None. Unfortunately, none. It is a nice piece, but this is what you got to realize. And with all collecting, it's the population of how many people collect a certain thing. Like behind me, I've got a game-used Mickey Mantle bat, like one of the last bats he used in 1968. And I think I've got Barry Bonds' 67th home run bat from 2001 season. There are a ton of game-used bat collectors. There are a ton of game-used jersey collectors. So those type of there's a ton of ring collectors. If you want to talk value, AJ can show me his his World Series ring. But
it's not for sale yet.
I didn't
just kidding.
It's not for sale. But I didn't say it was.
No, I don't even know where it is, so it's gonna be hard for me to show it to you, Ken.
Okay. But chest protectors is going to be somebody who wants that. It's a unique Mike Trout item. I can definitely see a Mike Trout fan wanting an early signature of his on an item like that, and maybe be willing to spend like $2,500.
So community college.
Perfect. You're
all right. So I didn't know you only didn't do just baseball. So I got some different stuff. Okay. So this is one of one. Okay. This is a Navy football helmet. The hand painted one when they did the ships against Army, signed by, I'm not even going to say his name, the coach, Ken, whatever, right? One of one right here. He gave it to me off his desk. You can kind of see it has, this way.
I've actually never seen anything like that. So
yeah,
is
so
it
the
true
aircraft
one of
carrier,
one?
It's what?
Is it a true one of one? Like I
don't know of anybody else that has one. He literally handed it to me off his desk. He said, I go, man, I collect helmets. He's like, and I'm like, I always wanted that. He goes, here, boom. And I go, so I'll sign it for you. Here you go. So they wore it against Army. They're all hand painted. It's one of one. It's a Navy football helmet.
Honestly, that to me, in the right setting, is definitely $1,000+ because you're going to find people who want to spend money on a unique item like that, and obviously a lot of people, follow those games.
Okay, and then here, Todd showed off his '86 Mets, 2010 Blackhawks, signed by the whole team. Stick. First time they'd won in how many ever years? But it's got Kane, Tays, got them all. There you go. Probably
about $1,500. Now, it's not used, I assume, right?
No. It's a
okay. Probably about $1,500.
Okay, so I'm almost a community college.
If it was used, what would it have been worth? If it was, say,
if it was used in the Stanley Cup, probably $4,000+.
Okay. All right. Nice. So now I got some used stuff for you. Okay. Mask.
Sure.
With a sticker.
Yes.
See the sticker? Mark Burley's no hitter. Mask I wore.
Oh.
I'll get him to sign it if it makes it more worth
in Chicago, it's definitely going to pop.
I can definitely get it signed for you.
Yeah, honestly, that's an interesting one. I'm like shocked that he's not gotten. I always viewed him. I was a big fantasy player. I always viewed him as potential Hall of Famer. But I would think it's a very unusual item. It could go for $1,000. It could go for maybe $2,500. Really depends who the buyers are that are watching.
Okay, I can't give you the mask from the perfect game because it's right here. It's already bronze.
Yeah.
It's bronze. It's bronze, so I can't sell that. And it has a sticker on it. So I do have the chest protector though. Phil Humber's perfect game chest protector award with the sticker. Kind of the same thing as Burt. I mean, there's only been 23 perfect games.
Yep.
This is the chest protector one.
And he's the biggest sleeper of them all. Like literally the biggest out of everybody who no one would have expected him, right? I mean, I guess Braden would be second, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I know you guys were just talking about him a second ago, but those are talking about guys unexpected. I've never seen anything like it. Like I know, like if you had like the final out of a perfect game, to me, you're always looking at $5,000 plus because there's a market, there's comps that are established for it. Something like that is again really unique. Again, I'd put it in a range anywhere from $1,500 to $3,500.
Okay, so the last thing for me, let's just say I don't have it authenticated because they didn't do authentications at the time, but this is the ball, the tie All-Star game, the last pitch. This is the ball. This is it in my hand. What do you got? Remember the tie game, Miller Park, let them play.
Yeah, I remember that.
Freddie Garcia threw it to me, struck out. I don't know.
Everybody
He struck
was
out
annoyed.
somebody. I caught it.
Yep.
Took it in the dugout. This is the ball.
If it is the ball. You're saying it's not the ball, but if it was,
No, this is the ball. This
is the ball. This is the ball.
No, I can't get a sticker
It's not authenticated.
because they can't authenticate. They won't do it. I've tried.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
I've taken it to authenticators when I was playing and said, "This is the last out from the 2002 World Series or All-Star game. Will you authenticate?" They're like, "We can't. They won't let us." And I'm like, "But I'm."
Who won't let
The authenticators, they said that Major
No,
League Baseball
authentic.
won't let
Listen, here's the rules of MLB authentication. If they do not, they're supposed to. If they do not witness, like you're in a game, if they don't witness you take the jersey off your back, they're not supposed to tag it. If a ball is not marked, and I dealt with this with a guy, and because we sold Aaron Judge's 60-second home run ball. You know, my big thing to everybody is whoever catches that ball, do not leave the stadium without having it authenticated, because once it leaves the stadium, they'll never authenticate it for you. So if they don't have a direct chain of custody to an item where they witness it, they will not authenticate it. So if AJ had the chance to swap that ball with any other ball or any time lapse, they won't go back in time and put a sticker
But see,
on
they
it.
didn't authenticate it though back then. This was 2002. There was no guy with a sticker, right? So there was no. That didn't start to like 04.
No, they did.
06
They did it. They did do that on a much smaller level, because when Bonds was going, they did have it on a smaller level in the early 2000s, just not as widespread as it is now. To me, it's a unique item. You know, it's kind of like one of the balls. You know, to me, I'm thinking like a ball used in the first night game, but obviously not that important. Again, it's probably, for the right person, probably around $1,500.
Okay.
What happened to the judge ball? So how did you guys prove it?
Oh, MLB was there to sticker it. So remember with the judge balls, what they did was they marked every ball with markings, and they all had a number, so you knew what pitch number it was. So the guy had the ball that corresponded to the pitch number, and MLB security met him in the outfield and escorted him down. And they asked him if he would want to meet Judge and trade it. He goes, "No, I just want my ball stickered and I want to leave." And he did the right thing. He got his ball stickered and he left.
Nice. And every ball.
And we got
Every ball was juiced.
Those are the rumors.
I can't even remember what I got him. Was it like $1.5 million, something like that?
Yeah, not bad. Not that,
Yep.
Kratzy, that'll put some people through college. That's the one.
That's
Yeah.
college.
Yeah, that's the one
college.
that's the one you needed.
Hey,
Okay.
Ken, did you were you the one that got Tom Brady's last touchdown ball sold, and then he came back and threw some more touchdowns the
No,
next year?
that was an opposing auction house. Yeah, what happened was that they were selling it, and they made a mistake in the wording, because they said it's his last touchdown, final touchdown. They didn't put in there that he may come back. So when you advertise it as the last touchdown, then the auction ended on a Saturday night, and then that Monday he announced he's back, and the guy didn't pay for it and sent the lawyer's letter and ended up getting out of the deal.
That's wild.
I know the guy who did it too. I think the ball went from $450,000 the first time to like $110,000 the second time it was sold.
Jeez. Okay. That's still actually more than I anticipated, though, because it's really not the last ball.
Yeah, but at the time, everyone thought it was, because
Right.
like I retired, and they got remember the Mike Evans handed it to some random guy in the stands. He's like,
Yes.
"Oh, I got the boom."
That still handles a little bit of college.
Yeah.
Not the whole way. A couple other questions before that, though.
Sure.
I've got one. It's not game used from me, as AJ will tell you 20 times over. But this one that was sentimental to my dad. It was from a car dealership opening in Jersey back in whatever years. And can you see the signatures there?
Yeah, Thurman Munson and Catfish Hunter.
Yep. So and it's a
looks
Yanks
like an
pennant.
Circa 1976 Yankees pennant. If again you're dealing with if you had let me give you a range. If you had a perfect single sign Thurman Munson ball, just a ball in the sweet spot with a really nice signature, really really nice, could be $10,000. You take that same signature, you put it on a pennant. You have the pennant faded out a little bit. You have the signature faded out a little bit, and you add Catfish Hunter to it, which you would think would be a good thing, because Catfish Hunter, Hall of Fame pitcher, and Munson was his catcher, right? It actually devalues it. If that went up for auction, it probably would not get $500 based on the condition and based on the limitation of collectors who collect that type of thing.
See, I gotta tell my dad he messed up.
Yeah.
Only
Why
one.
did you get catfish?
Dad,
You got catfish.
God,
imagine if you're at the place and you go, "Oh, here, Thurman, thanks." Nah,
Just kidding.
No, wait. It gets better. It gets better. What about if you have a Babe Ruth single sign ball? Like a Babe Ruth ball, a really nice Babe Ruth ball is worth significantly more, like 5x a really nice ball signed by the entire 27 Yankees, the entire Murderers Row. Babe Ruth alone is just significantly more valuable as a standalone item. Same thing with Ruth Gehrig. Like the most valuable Babe Ruth baseball I believe the grade's a 9.5, is probably worth about $1.5 million. The most valuable Ruth Gehrig ball is probably worth about $400,000.
It's crazy. More is less.
Insane.
More is less. Yeah. So Ken, I tried to buy. We had this whole thing. Lee Ilya did his big rant 40 years ago, and Les Grobstein was a reporter in Chicago, and he sold the tape recorder that he used he sold it on auction. It went for $1,800. This auction house. I don't know if that was your auction house or not. So then I went to the guy and I said, "Hey, I found out who it was," and I said, "Hey, I want to buy this from you." And I offered him a number, and he said no. I'm like, dude, like it doesn't mean anything to you. It means way more, and I'll give you more than $1,800 for it. So is there a way I can like backdoor him and you can figure you can broker this deal for me?
Unfortunately, it was not me. And what you have is you've got dealers and you've got collectors. Like collectors, you use common sense and you say, okay, you just bought this item for $1,000. I'm going to offer you $2,000, but they don't want to give it up. A dealer is going to take that in a second, and that's the difference. It really depends what it is. And I've always found that memorabilia and collectibles, and I'm talking anything that's not a trading card, is always more sentimental and can always range more in price than a card. Like a Mickey Mantle card in a grade of PSA 9 is going to trade within the same small range no matter when and where it sells, except it'll gradually go up over time. But a Mickey Mantle game-used bat or a game-used jersey, even though one previously sold, let's say, for $150,000, that's similar, doesn't say that same bat a week later can't sell for $250,000 with the right audience.
Hey, question for you. Say Babe Ruth just signed a random jersey, right? It's worth a lot of money. Like but it wasn't like his real jersey. Like say you just have his jersey that he used. Is it more money to have the jersey or just to have his random autograph on a jersey? Like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a perfect example. Let's say there was a store-bought Yankee jersey, which I don't know, I imagine they had in the 1930s, and Babe Ruth signed it, and it was in perfect condition. Perfect condition. That jersey, single signed by Babe Ruth, probably, honestly, I've never seen one, probably have to be at least $250,000, maybe $500,000, just on the rarity. Yet, if you had a Babe Ruth game-worn jersey from that same era that was in the same type of condition, you're talking $10 million plus.
With an autograph or without, doesn't matter.
Without an autograph. Without an autograph. With vintage stuff like that, it doesn't matter if it's signed or not. You just want to make sure it's real.
Wow.
What's a current item that you're like, okay, nowadays, like people should be keeping this? Like, oh, is it all just historic things, or is that too tough to guess?
No, it's not only, first of all, it's the players. Like my company, recently we did a deal with Julio Rodriguez, and he said, something, hey, instead of letting, me going to, signing some deal, let's say with Fanatics, where I'm going to give them all my autographs, I'm going to give them all my game use stuff, and, they'll pay me a flat fee, and that's all I'm going to get. We're putting all of his items in the vault, and we'll release them over time, and he'll be able to get 90% of the value of those items when they're sold because he's auctioning them off. So for a lot of the young players, anybody who could be, and everybody, of course, wants to be a superstar and thinks they're going to be a superstar, but everybody who could be a superstar, they should be saving every one of their firsts. They should be saving, save the first bat they use, save the first jersey they use, save the first ball they see, save all their rookie year stuff, because you never know what is going to happen. I mean, even Trout came into the major leagues and, he, got off to a, very slow start his debut year, a nice rookie year, but a bad debut year. As far as collectors go, I think, to me, that the modern game generates a lot of memorabilia, a ton of memorabilia. I think that stuff from the 1980s, guys, like Ryan, guys like Carlton, guys like Schmidt, guys like Rose, who obviously goes back to the 1960s. Carew, you think of all these great players in the 80s. I think that the number of items of theirs, their actual items that are out there, the population is very small, but they're not nearly as expensive as guys from the 50s like Mantle, Mays, Aaron Clemente. So I think if you have opportunity to get superstars from the 80s, late 70s, and even early 90s before there was the real memorabilia boom, I think that stuff is all drastically undervalued. Unfortunately, today's players, like I remember, Steiner had the Yankees deal, and then the Derek Jeter deal, and I do not know. It seemed like Derek Jeter wore 162 jerseys a year because every week Steiner was selling another game-used Jeter jersey from his retirement. So, and there's just so much money in the stuff now. You have to go, to me, right before this craze happened and try and find players that might be under the radar, or players that you like, and save those type of items. The thing about autographs, and again, this is just cold hard business facts here. Anybody who is living, there is potentially an infinite supply of their autograph, right? So any guy can do a card show, any guy can sign a Topps contract and be signing 5,000, 10,000, 15,000 cards in a given year. So those items are nice collectibles, but you shouldn't be putting $2,500 into, to me, modern player autographs, hoping that 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you're going to 10x your money, because what's going to happen is the supply is going to be 10x, not your money.
That's good insight. That's great. Hey, let's finish with this because we're about to touch on the topic. Doug Minkiewicz is the subject of our show with former players called Legends Territory. And the episode just released today. It's about his battle over the 2004 World Series baseball with the Red Sox. And he kind of opened up some new insight that we didn't realize. There was like a really intense battle, and he gave us some of the quotes back and forth. What's that ball worth?
To me, I think at the time, because they always come to me, Bloomberg and now Sportico, they all come to me and say, "What's this worth after every game?" To me, when the Red Sox broke the curse, I honestly thought it was a $5 million ball. I think it has gone down solely from the standpoint that they've won multiple titles since then. But to me, that team was so special, so unique, so loved. Broke the curse, and it's such a famous team and such a famous ball. I still think you're dealing in millions of dollars in terms of the value of that baseball.
What? I told him. What I tell? Listen, Ken. Listen to the interview. I called him the night of the game, and I said, "Dude, we are selling that ball right now. Put it on eBay." He goes, "No way." Watch the interview, and I literally called him, and I said, "Dude, we need to sell that ball. We will make a lot of money." He goes, "We?" And I go, "Yeah, you and me, because it was my idea." And he's like, "I'm keeping it." And I'm like, "You're an idiot." Because now look at him. He got nothing out of it.
He should have sold it instantly.
He should have sold it the next day. It should have been
called
online.
Ken, it would be quick exchange, and they handle the rest, right?
Exactly.
Yep. Hey, Ken, great catching up with you. We appreciate it. We'll give some plugs to, or if you want to, for anyone that's got something special out there, what can they do?
Sure. Honestly, I'm all over social media. You can just hit me up. It's either ken@goldin.com with an IN, or just Ken Goldin anywhere on Twitter, on Instagram. I do read my DMs. And definitely, if you have not watched it, go to Netflix, King of Collectibles. We're top 10 show in 12 countries around the world, looking to get a renewal for season 2. And Todd's son and my son hopefully will be playing a serious baseball game sometime shortly.
Yes. I was going to say that in a second here, that we're going to have a nice little battle. So when he comes back on, we'll talk about the game and who won. That'll be fun.
I like
exactly.
that. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, Todd, did you play Little League?
No. Hey, Ken, I got my Little League jersey I wore. That could be worth something.
Hey. I know that honestly, I know a lot of people pay big bucks for your little league stuff.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Most historic, the greatest little league baseball player of all time.
Yep. Hey, there's some really rich dude.
I'll
in
take
Tom's
Sean Burrows.
River.
I'll take Sean Burrows.
Sean
for
Burrows.
free.
There's some rich dude in Tom's River that would pay good money for that.
Oh, yeah.
Probably.
I'm telling you. Yeah. Hey, Ken, great to see you, man. Appreciate the time.
Thank you for having me, guys. Have a good one.
You too. Ken Goldin with us on FT Live. All right, let's jump right into it then. Legends Territory Part 2 was just released this morning with Doug Mankiewicz. There's so much more for you to listen to or watch. It's on podcasts. It's on YouTube. It got a ton of coverage over the last few days when he was talking about A-Rod and Jeter and the comments. I mean, he's got some viral TikToks from our Foul Territory TikTok page, which I thought was funny because some people were like, I'm the biggest Yankee fan ever, and I don't know who this guy is, or I don't remember him on our team. Well, yes, it was brief, but newsflash, you're not the biggest Yankees fan ever if you don't know about him.
Yeah.
Like Gold Glove, first baseman, and he did spend a brief stint with the Yankees, but the bigger stint is with the Red Sox and that baseball. So let's run a little piece of Legends Territory from this week.
I was a little skeptical going to the Yankee clubhouse when I signed with them in 2007. But like I felt so at home, like they just were like they weren't what I thought they were from afar. You always see like this business like machine that just keeps going, and then like you get in the clubhouse, and once the media's out, it's. I mean, I remember singing Mark Anthony. Like they made me sing Mark Anthony riding a bike. You sang to me, and I was like, well, that's just what I've always done, and they wanted me to do it. And you always think like those guys are just like Roger Clemens and Andy Pettit, and the list goes Mo, and the list goes on and on. Like they were just I couldn't believe how much fun. And Derek had a lot to do with that. Derek was always very humble in the sense of like he would make fun of himself, which if you guys obviously know baseball, like most baseball players are self-deprecating. We have to be with so much failure. And that was probably the biggest surprise of my career was seeing how Derek really was behind closed doors and how much fun he was.
Legends Territory Part 2 with Doug Mankiewicz. That was the Jeter stuff, but my favorite part of the Part 2 is the Red Sox story.
The ball?
Yeah, the ball and the battle with
Aquino and the whole deal.
Yeah, it's the quotes. I don't want to give it away, but it's really good. So it's there right now. Our friends with the MLB Players Alumni Association giving us guests every single week. Big ones you can look back to. There are Dave Stewart interviews. Who was our first one that we did?
Andrew Jones. Dave Stewart.
First one.
Doug. Johnny Damon.
We're a little Red Sox heavy right now.
I don't pick the guests.
I know we have John Lester coming up.
Oh, he did John Lester? Yeah.
But it'll move. We'll be fair. No Boston bias. But
anyway, who picks the guests?
It's a collective decision, but we're
Theo
going
Epstein.
to be doing it.
Yeah.
Theo Epstein. Paul Pierce. All right, let's hit some locks, shall we? Your BetMGM locks for Tuesday, but first we backtrack to Monday. How'd we do? Pretty damn good, I would say. 3 out of 4. Jonesy hit again with the Dodgers covering their 2.5 run line. A little nerfy action for Kratzy with Philly and the Mets. Low-scoring game. You get by the first. That's a dub. I got a Texas money line win to get back on track, as that's just a better team in my mind than Detroit. By the way, I did want to sneak this in for Detroit. Riley Green out with what looks like a pretty serious injury, and Eduardo Rodriguez just hit the shelf. So
and they're winning 3-1. So
I know, but 2 bad injuries for Detroit. And your Bayo over K-Prop, what happened? I didn't even
He threw 100 pitches in 4 innings.
Well, that's what happens.
He had 4 punches. He needed
starters.
1 more inning. He would have got to 6, but he only threw 4 innings. So, yeah. I mean, listen, I was riding him every time. I'm still going to keep riding him because you know what? Next time. I tried Senga last time, and he screwed me. And he did it.
AJ, you're gonna ride him. Okay.
Ride Bayo.
Yeah.
All right, there we are with our money bags. Now let's make some moves, shall we? Your BetMGM locks for Tuesday. Kratzy, why don't you start for us today?
I'm going to take the over in the Yankees-Seattle game. George Kirby probably going to get back on the horse. He had a tough one last time against the Pirates versus Piece of Schmidt. And the over-under, I mean, this is probably a bait game that I just got baited into betting on. It's 7.5. It's -115, and I'm taking the over at 7.5. The Yankees, as Todd would say, I'm going to keep riding the hot hand. The Yankees are hot right now. They're scoring runs. I'm taking the over in the Yankees-Seattle Mariners game.
Okay. Yeah, so you need 8 or more there at minus 115 to win 100, Kratzy.
Yep.
Also, Todd, before you start, I just wanted to lay down some breaking news. I have just been informed today is Wednesday.
What'd you say?
I said Tuesday initially. So today is Wednesday. Okay. I hope you enjoyed your Memorial Day weekend. Todd, Father, go.
Yeah, so I'm going to roll right off what he said. I'm riding the wave. I'm going Yankees. Plus 110. They've been dogs every game in Seattle. I'm doing 200 to win 220. They're getting after it. Doesn't matter who's pitching. They're getting after it. So let them do what they got to do. Keep riding that wave.
Yeah, they are feeling it out in Seattle. Okay, I'm going with the over on the Phillies and the Mets. It's actually moved. It's at 9. Still taking it at minus 105 to win a hundo. And it's Nola, who has struggled for the most part, aside from that one start. What was it? When we had him on the next day, he was great, but there's been a lot of clunkers in there. I just think also Mets offense, in my mind, better than what it's looked like. So undervalued in my mind. Phillies offense, same way. This is about the same time last year. I think they had the same record. I think it was, 23 and 29, something like that. It's almost an identical look from this year to last year. Their offense is much better than this. I know Carlos Carrasco looked good last time around, but he hasn't looked good most of his starts this year. In my mind, I'm buying into peripheral numbers and that the Phillies are going to pounce them. I think these are 2 of the better offenses in the league. There's a reason why this is 9 in my mind. So I've got them going over.
Okay. I got the Dodgers Nats over 9.5. Syndergaard, Patrick Corbin has been one of the worst pitchers been going.
Not recently.
Yeah,
but yes.
For the year. I go off bigger trends than just recently, but over 9.5. The Nats offense is actually better than I think we think about them. They can score. They just have a hard time holding teams down. Syndergaard hasn't been great for the Dodgers, so I think 9.5. Freddie Freeman's hotter than fire right now. I just think this is a 7-5, 7-4 Dodgers win.
If you believe in us, there are going to be high-scoring games this evening.
Yes.
Because we don't have a ton of games to choose from, too, on a Wednesday. So just keep an eye out for that. And, of course, it's Wednesday. So BetMGM players are going to receive a bonus bet to use on any sport. Bonus bets will be given to players on Wednesdays and Saturdays when you log into your account. You get the offer in 3 easy steps. Log in to your BetMGM Sportsbook app, or if you're a website person, do that. After login, immediately you get the bonus bet, and then that can be used on any sport wagers. And the bonus bet will expire after 72 hours, so don't wait. Redeem your bonus bet. Always bet responsibly. Gambling problem or concern, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Woo! Good show today. Jeff McNeil kind of seamlessly taking us right into our Ellie De La Cruz conversation, which I will remind everyone, for you college football fans out there, Kirk Herbstreit joining us tomorrow. Let's slap hands. Hats, it's you.
Another one from the college days. My senior year, I got to play for a team called the Broadway Bruins. I played 2 games. I actually almost came in and pitched an inning, but it was right before the draft, so I needed to keep playing somewhere, and I wasn't eligible for any wood bat leagues. The Broadway Bruins.
My fam would like that. I got a Broadway family.
Nice.
Nope.
So,
New York, Boston biased. Bruins.
Me?
No.
Oh,
Kratz.
he is?
Mm-hmm.
I think Kratz is the least biased person ever because he's played everywhere. That's fair. And I know a lot of people dropped questions into the YouTube chat, so here's what I'm going to do because we're out of time today. I am going to grab some of them, and I'll ask them to the boys tomorrow. Also tomorrow, in addition to Kirk Herbstreit, the great Sarah Langs, who's an incredible statistician and inspiring sport story as well. This is a special month as we're raising money for ALS research. So she's going to join us tomorrow. Brock Holt is going to be in the house tomorrow, and we'll be at the Borgata again in Atlantic City if you want to come say hello in person if you're in AC. Borgata on Friday. What? Gators?
Gators, National Championship Golf is their logo. They beat Florida State. It's always a great day when you beat those criminals. But, yeah, Gators in the national.
You trying to get that sized up, how much that's worth?
No. But
kidding.
This is their logo. They beat Florida State in the semis. They're in the national championship. JC Deacon. Go Gators.
Breaking news, today is actually Wednesday, and AJ still loves Florida. See you on Thursday.